I'm in Central Texas. I'm 20 minutes from San Marcos. We're kind of like, they refer to our area as cattle country. You know, it's a lot of livestock and stuff in our area of the woods. Go ahead. So, Liable resource, and I think it's always important for me to mention also, is that we know what the agency knows. We know what the USDA knows, is that we don't always get a fair shake, a fair shot, access, welcome, receptions, and things like that. They know that. So bringing this, out here to you, it makes it more comfortable, hopefully, and it's, in a more familiar setting. But advocacy is a big part of the work that we do, right? So I'm a student at Texas A&M. I'm a law student working on as a master of business, master of jurisprudence and business law. And people say, well, why are you doing agriculture? Because this is my life. My life is ag. Like Dana told you, I'm a farmer and rancher. We have cattle, horses, and we grow crops. And we don't pay for people. So everything that I learned from this business law program, I bring it back to us, right, amongst the people, and I tell us, hey, this is what the program says, and this is what we really have to do, so that it's in layman's terms, and we have a better shot at having access to those programs. Okay, go to the next one. Thanks. Lending in agriculture, there's loans out there everywhere. Since we're on a tight schedule, and I know you guys have land already that you're using, I'll just say that there's a difference between commercial banks and ag banks. Okay, if you find an agriculture-friendly bank like Capital Farm Credit or Agro or the Farm Service Agency with the USDA, the difference is a lot of times they'll look at your production. So the timeliness of the payments, and when your payments are due, is going to be based a lot around your production, when your crops are due, when you're harvesting, when you're selling, right? So me, if I have a cow-calf operation, I'm having one calf a year. It doesn't make sense for me to go to Bank of America down here because they're going to say, yeah, I'll give you $20,000. You can go buy feed and cows, but you're going to pay on that every month, like a mortgage. You pay on it every month. Going to an ag-friendly lender, you'll pay once a year, or you'll pay twice a year, based on your production. Okay. Farm Service Agency or the USDA loans right now are a hot topic. Okay. I'll keep this quick. To purchase land, you can get up to $600,000 to purchase. Okay. That includes land tenure. If you have land in your family that you're wanting to take over, you're going to buy it from somebody in your family that's a land tenure, they do those loans also. They also do operating loans. If you have land already, but you need money just so you can, kind of breathe a little bit. Like me, I have employees, I have a lot of overhead. Money comes in my account, but it's also going out real quick, right? So sometimes we need a little cushion, a little time. FSA will give you operating loans up to $400,000. They also have microloans, which is a quick application process. It's speedy. Barack Obama, a few years ago, during his administration, they modified that. So it's a quick application, $50,000. You can use it for operating expenses. You can use it to buy livestock. You can use it for a number of things, okay? If you already have had a direct farm operating loan through the USDA prior to January of this year, you will be getting your loan forgiven. Okay? Now, seeing the the Debt Relief Act, and the American Rescue Plan, a lot of that is geared towards farmers because last year when Corona food virus assistance hit, they started sending money out to producers, right? Farmers and ranchers, people raising stuff. Less than 1% of, I think about $16 billion went to minority producers, okay? So you think about that. $16 billion that they sent out to farmers, dairy farmers, soybean farmers, farmers in the Midwest, farmers out west. They sent those monies to them through the FSA programs. That's why it's important to get your organization enrolled in these programs, because now what they're doing, okay, is they're making them to where they're automatic. They call them top-up payments, okay? So if you put in for CFAP 2 like I did last year when coronavirus hit, we didn't know how much we were gonna get, okay? So I put in, so I had 10 caps, okay? They paid for $144, I think, per cap. Fast forward now to this year, 2021, and they've already sent out an automatic adjustment, what they call a top-up payment. So they sent me an additional $44 for each one of those 10 cattle from from last year's program. It's just automatic. You don't have to put in for it again. You put your numbers in one time, and they're okay. But at the same time, there are other programs out here for us. Look inside this pamphlet I passed out. Okay, it says programs available to organic farmers. These programs are also available if you have livestock, sheep, goats, cows, right? Because they're forage based. It talks here about these loans, okay? Even emergency loans are available through them. Farm storage facilities, okay? Say you need refrigerators for your things that you're harvesting out of your crops, things like that. You need sinks, you need water, you need things like that. These loan programs will help you be able to make some of those improvements. Now, there's something else I'll tell you that before you even have to get a loan, there's free money out here. I'm gonna tell you all about it in just a minute. It's just the loan stuff, okay? But I wanted to show you, I thought it talked about NAP in this one. Maybe not. Oh, it does, right here. It says disaster assistance. It talks about NAP. NAP is a program that insures your crops. Okay, it's not private insurance, it's government insurance against your crops. So by you going in and enrolling, now you're covering your crop. If you sign up, organic crops are eligible for NAPs and may receive the organic average market price, not the conventional crop price. So if you certify, when you go into their office, you certify, hey, I'm growing sweet potatoes. Oh, but you can tell them that you're growing organic sweet potatoes, and there's a big difference in the cost between those two, right? So that's how reporting on your crops is important, knowing all of that. But they're gonna pay you on this one, because you can tell them it was organic, right? All right, but if you tell them, they'll pay you the higher price. Basic coverage with no premiums cover 50% of your yields. Okay, 55% of the price. But producers, you can always do the buy-up option, right? You might have an expensive crop and you got high hopes, and so far it's been a good year, right? But this is for the things that we don't see. This is for drought. This is for floods. Hurricane freezes like we had. This is for that. So now if your crop is damaged in some sort, you would report on it and then start your plan. Also important on this, when it comes to NAP and these other programs, you've got to certify the year before. So let's say in 2022, you guys are going to put your farm in the NAP. Well, you're going to have to certify with FSA in December of this year. December 2021, you would go in and certify with your farm and your crops for 2022, right? Okay. You don't have any the coverage fees. Y'all see how much that costs? It's the lesser of $250 per crop or $750 per county, not to exceed $1,750. Okay? But I'm here to tell you today that you won't have to pay for any of that. Okay? By you being what the USDA and FSA defines as historically underserved populations, Black, Hawaiian, South Pacific Islander, Hispanic, Latino, Asian, you don't have to pay the premiums to participate, okay? You can't rent a house for free, but you can get insurance for free through the Farm Service Agency for your crops. Okay? They want, in exchange for your participation in these programs, they want your production. Okay? So when we look at the news, and they're talking about, the price of soybeans being down, right? Then that's agronomists. They collect all this data through the Farm Service Agency, and they report on it, statistics. But they can't do it without your participation. Okay? Now, Ms. Jack, I know you have livestock. Does anybody else in here have livestock?
Not yet.
Sheep?
Not yet, but they will.
Okay. Yeah, they will. Excuse me. So for livestock programs, the FSA has there's a livestock forage program, which we call LFP. Once you're signed up and you have a farmer track number, the door's wide open. So LFP you report on when we have droughts above a category 3 and the freeze that we had in February. Because it's a forage program. So if you have animals that eat grass and we have drought or we have freeze and killed grass, now they know you're gonna have to buy feed. So this program is to help you buy feed for your livestock. So by category, if it's chickens, if it's goats, if it's sheep, if it's cows, and how many of each one you have, right? Then they'll pay you. The other one is lip. I don't know if you lost any animals during the freeze in February.
I did that, and I put the application, I put all my animals on there, and they say it's a year-round program. It's if I have any other animals in the future that I lose, I'll add them to that, and it's just too much of I couldn't understand,
I'll explain a little bit because it's under the norm. Let's say you lost 2 or 3 animals, then you have to wait for a year because if an average, they have an average of you losing 2 or 3, then they're not going to pay you. But if you lose 2 or 3 and then you start having animals dying, because sometimes with animals it takes longer, right? And you have 5 or 6 died later, you're going to go and say, I have 5 or 6 that died more, right? And at the end of the year, they're going to calculate, well, the normal is 3. So we're going to pay you on all the other ones. That's why they said that.
Yeah, that's the
Yes.
Yeah, the mortality
by how much.
But it's at the end of the year.
Yeah, they have a formula. They do, and this is one of the knobs, right? This is where within these nonprofit organizations and these other groups, on the backside, I'm advocating because these programs and these policies are not really written for us really to tap into. They're there, they sound good. It sounds good. I think we need this money. No, but if you wrote it, you need questions. So the mortality rate issue is a big deal when it comes to the FSA. Because I feel like with disaster programs, that's when people need money. That's when we need help.
Yeah.
So if I lose 10 cows and out of my 20, I don't want to hear about, that's an average mortality rate that you're going to use. They're they say that's your average loss per year. But it's a disaster program. So I don't think there's really room in those programs for, all of that. Let me speed up real quick. The CFAP2 program, I would just say if you guys have production records for what you're producing on your farm, this could help out. Once you get signed up for this year, again, those top-up payments will continue to come. Usually they are direct deposited to whatever account you send. Sometimes they'll cut you a paper check. Okay, let me read real quick. Could you go one more this way?
Probably more than one more, but stop for a little bit.
Yeah, keep going. There's ad family members. Okay, to participate and access these programs, this AGI form, I would do one of these. You know, you have to do one for your entity just to say that, hey, as a nonprofit, we are not making more than $900,000 a year. Okay, if you make more than $900,000 a year, just disqualify. You can't participate. Okay. Those are federal powers attorneys, and that's what I used to do. Like, you know, if I was coming to do your enrollment for your personal farm or for your group farm nonprofit. I'm doing some stuff with Houston Community College right now and Houston ISD for high school. So yeah, I use these federal 211 power of attorneys to be able to do the program for you. Okay. NOAA. NOAA's good prediction for weather in terms of your crops, what you're growing, what to expect. The FSA, when it comes to these programs like NAP and LFP, they look at the drought monitor, okay? So we can be dry for 2 weeks, but not dry enough for you to get a payment, you know? It has to be a category 3 to trigger a payment. So once we hit category 3, that's when they'll start calling me and saying, hey, we know you told us 2 weeks ago you were dry, so now we're taking appointments to set you up a payment, okay? Same thing. That map is updated every week. I think every time it comes out, and then you can do projections on all kinds of stuff. All right, we covered that.
Well, Tarjison.
Oh yeah, that's fine. Go ahead. Bees. Do you all have bees on your? How many acres do you have?
I mean, each individual farm is less than 1 acre.
Okay. But they're all in the same kind of contiguous.
No, there's
Okay. All right. The reason I asked about bees, if anybody had bees, there's a lot of money in bees. Bees. A lot of money in bees. I think I want to do a whole program just on the money you can make in bees. Like Justin was talking about, the money you can make with these cover crops, bees, and it's great for our environment. It's great for our crops. Okay. You can insure bees. You can insure your hives. You can insure them through the FSA, and you can insure them privately. If we have a drought, the bees are affected, they're going to pay. If we have high winds and your hives are damaged and stuff, boom, you know, there's a program called ELAP. They pay on honeybees, they pay on fish, okay? If you have aquaponics and you're doing fish, there's programs for pretty much everything, whether they're wild caught fish or they're fish that you were just keeping, you know, and selling. But honeybees. Okay.
I'd like to ask a question. Do you have a lot more people that would be interested in us doing going to you and doing a workshop?
Yeah.
Yes? Because I mean, it's hard for you because you're so far away, but we can go to you. You just have to set up the days.
Yeah. And also, I mean, that's something I can help you guys with.
Yeah.
We're the nonprofit that I work with at Houston Retrain America. We're at Houston Community College teaching some continuing education classes. The first one that we're doing is Introduction to Industrial Hemp as a crop. So we're building hoop houses and hive tunnels where students are coming to learn about the crops. But that's also a way to for you guys, since we're tied in with a university, to be able to get continuing education hours. If we were to host your group, you know, at the college.
But I'm talking about going to, yeah, you're in Houston, yeah. So we can go to Houston too.
Okay. No, they can get CE hours for things like that also.
Are you opening for wider area? Maybe I'm up Dallas.
Oh, you're in Bikini?
Well, we can do it too. You just get a group.
Yeah, over there.
Yeah.
You just get a group from your group
Yeah.
and find a church,
Yeah.
and we can meet at the church, or we can meet at a community college, or we can meet just about anywhere that will allow us to use their space.
Okay.
We'll go to you.
Paul Quinn College, they have an ag program. And yeah, so we can I mean, I'd be happy to go
Yeah,
with you.
we could, because this was very short, because your trip is very long. But there's so much information for you to absorb, right? And that place, in San Marcos, it's a whole 3 days, all day long, of just pure information. And a lot of different organizations. So if you're interested in going, you just tell her we have funding. I mean, we have funding. We have the Hispanic conference, the minority conference, the National Center for Agriculture and Technology. Well, not that one. What's the other one?
You have outreach.
I have tons of funding.
Yeah.
We got the 2501, we got the FMPP, and we got the Beginning Farmers and Ranchers. So
Wonderful.
yeah, so
That's something else too, is grant opportunities,
Yeah.
for your organization.
for the organization, yeah.
So they're able to get funding for us to go over there?
Yes, you won't have to pay for travel. You won't have to pay for the hotel. You don't have to pay for the conference. You just have to go.
Okay.
Okay, now something I almost forgot to totally mention, E-Quip. I don't know if you talked about E-Quip.
Yeah, I kind of went through some of the stuff.
Okay.
I'm working with them too on increasing their stuff and working with USDA, but they're going to have to work with the organization, Plant It Forward.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe we can do something like, in Houston, because I'm in Houston, I have that community college, then we get CVs, but also, like, I'd like to be able to walk through that enrollment process with the FSA, because that's the gatekeeper, right, to even get to E-Quip. So now with E-Quip, there's a lot going on with urban conservation. There's a separate pool of funding. So now you have your rural conservation where they do like livestock programs. But you have separate funding for urban conservation for people in the city. So, okay. Well, thank y'all so much. I appreciate it. If you got questions for me, I'll hang around.
And Don, si quieres, dame algo, if you have something that you put, and if you have handouts, I'll
On the way back to Dallas. Let's see, we put on the back, the ranch is 1420. Okay. Okay. And we would like to be I would love to host you guys. Maybe we do that. If you have to San Marcos, we can host something at the ranch one day, do like a
yeah, or especially the women in that. Some people are women in that.
So what times do you go to classes? Are you school?
They don't have any program.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But I think by extra.
And I can give them the packages and they complete.
Okay.
You get more than what I will tell you before they come.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll put it together for you. Okay.
So that book, this book that I gave you guys, right here. This book right here is, this is my seed catalog, right? And that's that, they get Black Girl Seed Company. Okay, so I have a seed company with lacrosse seeds I distribute. So like Justin was talking about cover crops, like piggyback off of him because if you look on, was it page 11, I think, there's a picture of the crimson clover that he was showing y'all earlier. He was talking about that. And I have a picture on my phone. I have some cover crop out of my field at home right now for my livestock. And it's a blend. So Justin, he likes to be like, whatever you plant in one field, keep it, what is it? Monoculture, right? Where you just have one cover crop in an area. Now what I use for my livestock is also in here with Jackie. I use the blends, something that has tillage radish, one that plays really high soils. These tillage radish have, you see that long taproot?
I need 2 of ours,
So what happens is
2 extra.
the cows and horses,
They
they
wanna
want
take
what's up here up top, down below. This taproot is bringing up all those deep rooted nutrients to the top, like that's what I'm saying. A lot of times our grass roots are real shallow, so the stuff that they need is real far down, and this helps address that. Now, these are also edible. You can sell these at farmers markets. These are Daikon Radishes. Yes. People love those, and they get huge. After they're cooled out or after they decompose in the soil, that's just biomass added right back to the soil, and it's a way for air and water, moisture to get way down in there. Okay, so check this out. Y'all have my card. If you see something, y'all decide to plant some cover crops, keep in mind. Okay.
Let me see this one. We're gonna set him up, but he wants to take 2 to his partner. So do you have 2 more?
Oh, sure.
One more. This one.
I have some more you can do. You need one more?
Yeah, one. I'm not good at names, so I'm just gonna invite you up and you introduce yourself. And then I have it written down, so when I talk to you, I have to look at my name and say, okay, that's you.
And I have this for you, and you're only the person here that has animals. This is Blackstrap molasses that Justin found us.
I think it's some that group older.
So
It was some that wants to.
decide